Good afternoon and welcome once again to Orphan Car Garage YouTube. My name is John and I'm the owner here at Orphan Car Garage. We're located in Massachusetts in the little town of Abington, which is about 30 minutes south of the big city of Boston. Before we get going on the car we have here in front of us, I just want to shout out and give everybody a big thank you to anyone and everyone that could have possibly shared my last video, because it absolutely blew up on the internet with well over 30,000 views to date. That video profiled a beautiful 1952 Chrysler Imperial, and if you haven't seen the video yet, I suggest after you watch this one to backtrack to it, because the car was an absolute stunner. And no surprise to anyone, it sold in 4 days and is soon on its way to its new owner in North Carolina. The car is absolutely beautiful. And again, thank you for anyone that shared it, because it obviously got shared a lot. One of the most viewed videos we've done so far to date. This car might be close behind it or maybe even surpass it. This car here is a 1957 Nash Ambassador Custom. And in case you're not aware, this is the last year for the Nash nameplate, as Nash and Hudson merged in 1954 to create American Motors. Its new president, George Romney, wanted to focus more on the Rambler line of cars that he had sort of inherited from the Nash division in that merger. And I don't blame him for that, although it's really a shame that the big senior cars from Hudson and Nash had to kind of languish through the mid-1950s until they ended them in 1957, which is what we have here. About 3,600 of these cars were built in 1957. In 1956, they were actually built alongside the Hudsons on the same platform in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The Ambassador was a nameplate that was taken from Nash and had been around since 1927, and AMC kept it even after they killed off Nash in 57. And they had Rambler Ambassadors, and then again, after Rambler nameplate kind of died off in the late 60s, we had AMC Ambassadors. The Ambassador name ended in 1974 with the last AMC Ambassador being built. And by then, that nameplate had become one of the longest running car names in automotive history. So there you go. That might be a Trivial Pursuit question someday. So here we have the 1957 Ambassador Custom. These cars were available in custom and super trim. This is the upper custom, as you can tell by that beautiful swept tri-tone paint with that cool lightning strike trim along the back. This car is out of my personal collection, but sadly needs to go because we need some room inside. Winter's coming. We have climate controlled storage for all our cars here that we sell at Orphan Car Garage. So unfortunately, I can't keep them all. I'd love to. I fall in love with everything that I buy. And I hope that passion that I have in these vehicles shows through in my videos and to the new owners, because I really have a passion for what I do. And I buy and sell what I love, which can be a downfall when it comes to cars like this, that when you acquire them, you don't want to let them go. I kept this car for about 3 years, and I acquired it from an estate out of Los Angeles. This car was stored away in a warehouse literally in the Hollywood Hills and was part of an estate when the gentleman passed away. He had a large collection of eccentric, odd, and different cars, which is right up my alley. This is one of the cars this is the car I was able to obtain from that collection. It had been in storage up there in the hills for about 15 or 20 years. So when we got the car back here to Massachusetts, it needed quite a bit of rehabilitation to bring it back to roadworthy condition. We did everything that needed to be done, from the fuel system to the brakes to the tires, electrical system. Everything in this car has been checked out, and any repairs that were needed were done. Interior of the vehicle is original and beautiful. You'll notice that seat's reclined over there, and we'll get to that in a second. Beautiful back seat, original upholstery, original door panels, original carpeting, a really cool mid-century mat that will go along to the next owner. A nice headliner, a little bit of discoloration, but no rips or tears. Beautiful seams, nice door jambs. Get to the front here real quick. We're kind of running out of daylight. There's your driver's side door panel. Front carpeting, I believe that's original and in beautiful condition. Again, these really cool mid-century floor mats that you will get with the vehicle, or the next owner will get with the vehicle. This is the custom, so it has that really cool stainless curled trim, which really sets the interior of this car off nicely. Very mid-century feel to it. The odometer on this car shows 73,193 miles, and we believe that's correct. I don't have documentation to back it up, but we have every reason to believe that's correct. If anything, just by the condition of the original interior. There's no rips or tears in this interior at all. So you'll notice that seat is reclined. Nash is, going back to long before the merge with American Motors, had the ability to turn their interiors into a bed. So this proved very sensible to young families that were traveling cross country and didn't need to rent a motel. But it also, as you can imagine, proved useful for other things. And it was said that no father wanted their daughter to date a man with a Nash, Rambler, or Hudson that had that feature in it, because they all had that feature once the merger happened in 1954, and it continued through the 1960s. This car has an AM radio that does not operate, and also an original clock that does not operate. Weather eye heater, not air conditioning, but a weather eye heater in this car that does operate. Everything in the vehicle, as far as its safety functions, works. The wipers, the lights, the directionals, the defroster. This car has the automatic transmission as opposed to the 3-speed manual with overdrive. And that automatic transmission was sourced from all people other than Packard. Let's see if I could get that out. This car has power steering, which is extremely helpful, and it also has power brakes. I have a 56 Hudson, which is built on the same unibody platform as this. They were both built together on the same assembly line in Kenosha those last 2 years. And the two cars are like night and day to drive. The Hudson does not have power steering or power brakes. So there again, there's a beautiful interior on this car that's all original. Nothing's been touched or reupholstered. I love an original car. Some old, that stuff is so great. Some old oil change stickers from the 1980s. I have reason to believe the car's been repainted. Its original correct colors. Beautiful paint job, but older. I'm going to say probably 30, maybe 40-year-old paint job. It's held up outstandingly well. As you can see, the car has the optional Continental kit. Advertising there for V8 engine, and we'll get to that in a second. Real cool teardrop taillights. Even the gas door has some cool features. The N is the handle to open the gas door. So getting back to the paint, there's a few flaws, as you would expect from 30, 40-year-old paint. You know, there's some chips, a little bit of scratches. Probably the worst one is here, just behind the passenger side front tire. And I believe that happened to the transportation from California, but I was unable to prove it. The Farina emblem, because these cars were designed by Pininfarina. Very nice chrome. You'll notice the quad headlights. They say, I can't say for sure, but it's been said that this is the first vehicle to offer quad headlights in the United States. They were actually illegal prior to that, and soon after they became legal, the car companies all jumped to do it. But I've read that Nash with this car was the first one to offer it as standard equipment. Maybe someone could debate me on that, but I'm going to go with the fact that it probably is true. Beautiful, beautiful dark green with aqua teal insert, the white top, we call that tricolor. Brand new Coker Classic tires. Those are bias ply tires with the original looking pie plate design sidewall. Just outstanding. I really wanted to give this car a 1957 look in keeping with its originality. As I said, most of the car is original, other than the paint. I believe the car was painted, but correctly. So here we have its power plant, the meat and potatoes. This is a 327 V8 designed and built by American Motors. This engine replaced the engines they were buying from Packard prior to 1956. So if you bought this car in early 1956, it probably would have had a Packard V8 in it. AMC designed the 327 to replace it because, as you know, or probably know, or should know, Packard was originally supposed to be included in that merger. So was Studebaker. All four companies were going to merge to become American Motors, but there was some political unrest within the companies, and some egos got in the way, and Packard and Studebaker went off on their own, and Nash and Hudson went off on their own. But originally the idea in mind was for Packard to be involved in this project, so that the ink had dried, and American Motors was able to buy Packard engines until they were able to design their own for this car, this 327 V8. Got a 4-barrel carburetor and a dual exhaust. They were no slouch. I think they rated at about 255 horsepower. So this car was no slouch to drive. Just a beautiful, beautiful car. Very, very turnkey. You won't need to do anything to this car but drive it. Nobody's going to know what it is. Lots of guys think it's a Cadillac. I've also heard Packard. Cadillac mainly because of that emblem in the grill. It does have, if you look quick, it does kind of look like a Cadillac. The Nash emblem kind of looks like a Cadillac emblem. So there you have it. We're running out of daylight here, so I'm going to close this up. 1957 Nash Ambassador Custom out of my personal collection. Absolutely stunning. 100-point show car, it is not, but an absolutely stunning, drivable, classic show car that you can bring your family to a car show in, or to a cruise night, or to a drive-in movie, or to work every day. Whatever you decide, this car is absolutely turnkey, does not need a thing. Get in it, turn the key, and drive it. And just do me a favor, preserve it. This car deserves to be preserved. I believe they built about 3,600 of these, which makes it quite rare. And the last year for Nash. So, Orphan Car Garage, here we go. Drum roll, please. How much is he asking for this thing? We're asking $22,900. $22,900 for this beautiful 1957 Nash Ambassador. When was the last time you saw one? I can't remember the last time I saw one other than my own. A couple on the internet that have come up for sale, but not nearly as nice as this one. If you're a fan of the Orphan cars like I am, or a fan of something just a little different, you're tired of the Tri-5 Chevys and the Ford Skyliners, buy this car for half the price and have twice as much fun. Give me a call, 508-954-8090. Check us out on the web, orphancargarage.com. Find me on Facebook. This car will be on Facebook shortly. And subscribe to my page, my YouTube page. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you so much. Until next time.